Hello, everyone. I am Jaspreet Bhatia, Manager International Business with Landmark Immigration. Today, we have Miss Sandra from Keyano College. Hi, Sandra. If you could introduce yourself to everyone today.
Sure. Hi there. My name is Sandra Ifo, and I'm the Director of Student Services at Keyano College, and that includes overseeing international education and international student recruitment.
Right. So, Sandra, welcome on our platform today, and we are looking forward to a good informative session from you. So, if you could talk about the college, where the college is, which location, and discuss about that.
Absolutely. So, the name of the institution is Keyano College, and we are located in Fort McMurray, Alberta. So if you do a bit of research, you'll find out that Fort McMurray is home to the largest oil sands in the world. So we're known for oil and oil production. So we're a very busy city and busy community, very diverse. Jaspreet, you're familiar with Toronto. Well, we like to say that Fort McMurray is more diverse than Toronto because we have people from all over the world living here because of the work with the oil industry.
Okay, so that's about the city. And if you could tell us how far the city is from like the core of Alberta, which is like Calgary. Like students majorly have awareness about Calgary as one of these cities of Alberta. So if you could let us know what's the distance like and how one can travel.
Sure. So Fort McMurray is about an hour and a half flight from Calgary or 8 hours drive
Okay.
from Calgary. We're also pretty close to Edmonton. And for Edmonton, it's about an hour flight, an hour, 10 minutes flight from Fort McMurray, or 4.5 hours drive.
Okay.
So for us living here, it's close. And yeah, absolutely. The commute is doable. There are buses too that go through that road as well.
Okay. Now moving on, Sandra, if you could talk about the most highlighted programs of Keyano College and few other programs.
Sure. Some of our really popular programs are, of course, business. So for business, we have the management option, we have the accounting option, we also have human resources.
Okay.
So management and accounting, we have certificate and diploma. So certificate is 1 year, diploma is 2 years. And the primary requirements for business is math and English.
Okay.
You have to make sure that you have the Alberta equivalent minimum, 55% in math, 60% in English. And you also need an IELTS score of 6.
Okay.
So with COVID and everything going on around the world with the health pandemic, we are currently accepting Duolingo.
Okay.
So if students are able to take Duolingo, then we'll accept that as well. The other thing that we're doing is for international students that are currently in Canada already and have completed at least a semester of post-secondary studies, we are waiving the English language proficiency. So
Oh,
they do not have to take um, IELTS or the Duolingo test. So that gives you a few ideas around um, our admission requirements. For business administration for Duolingo, you need a score of 95.
okay.
Um, and I always encourage students to reach out to the agent, so Landmark Immigration, to ask them because Landmark Immigration, of course, is well versed when it comes to Keyano College, our admission requirements. So if you do have any questions, please reach out to them and they'll be able to assist you.
Yes, if any of you have any questions, please email us at info, at landmarkimmigration.com, and you can also give us a call on 90413 90412. Or you can also leave your questions in the comment sections, and Sandra can answer for that for you. And talking about Duolingo, Sandra, do you also accept PTE right now?
PTE is at the Pearson test.
Yes.
Um, we are in the process of looking at the PTE and how it aligns with our current programs.
Okay.
So I recommend Duolingo because I think it's well recognized
Mm-hmm.
right now in the face of COVID.
Okay.
And for those that have already written IELTS or TOEFL
Mm-hmm.
in the last few months, you can also submit those results to us.
Okay, so Sandra, continuing with IELTS scores, you told us that minimum overall is required as 6. So coming to the question that if a student has 5.5 in one module or 5.5 in two modules, can the student still get an offer letter from Keyano?
Absolutely. All
Okay.
we're really looking for business is the overall score. You can score a minimum of say 5 or 5.5 in any of the other sections, and that's okay as
Okay.
long as your overall score is 6.
Okay, so a student can have overall 6 with one module or two modules as 5.5 and still get an offer. This is a very good opportunity for all the students who are watching because many students are struggling with one module as 5.5 or two modules as 5.5. So you can get an offer letter from Keyano College. Please send in your queries at info at landmarkimmigration.com. And moving forward, Sandra, I wanted to ask you, you told us that the students who are onshore in Canada, who are doing like, who have completed one of the courses or few semesters and they're looking forward to change of college. So they do not require IELTS. So for example, if somebody is just throwing a question at you, that if somebody is on visitor visa in Canada right now, stuck in Canada, looking forward to converting it to study permit, but they do not have IELTS at all. So can they also apply for Keyano College?
They can, but in that instance, they will have to write the Duolingo test.
Okay.
So this opportunity really is available to students that have a post-secondary experience in Canada
Mm-hmm.
and can show us a copy of their transcript
Okay.
to show that they've met the English language proficiency.
Okay. So all this is basically for the existing students in Canada, right?
That's
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Thank you. And moving ahead, talking about the programs you spoke about, certificate programs. So are these certificate programs PG diploma, like PG certificates, or they're undergraduate certificates?
It's the equivalent of a PG. For example, the Human Resources Management Certificate. This particular program is geared towards people with work experience.
Okay.
So the requirement for this program is 60% in English. The IELTS is a minimum score of 6.
Okay.
Well, the difference between human resources and management and accounting is the requirement is primarily English. You
Right.
don't need math for this one. The other thing to keep in mind is it's a certificate, so it's only 1 year. However, there's the opportunity to do 1 year certificate in human resource and then maybe another year in management, for example, to end up with 2 years if that's what you're interested in.
Okay.
The other programs that I want to highlight is we have our Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science up to 2 years. So with these programs, students have the opportunity to major in arts or science, and after their first 2 years, they get their diploma, their arts and science diploma from us. So it has two benefits. One is it allows students to complete their university equivalent courses with us first 2 years so that they're able to meet the admission requirements for any other institution that they may wish to transfer to. The other advantage too is that they get um, their diploma. They get a diploma from us after the first 2 years. So it gives some flexibility because students are able to perhaps apply for their PR after the first 2 years with the diploma. And once they receive their PR, they're able to then complete the remaining 2 years. Of course, the tuition then becomes lower at that point.
Right.
So, a very good option. The minimum score for Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science for IELTS is 6.5 with no score below 5.
Okay. Okay.
So that's different for business.
Okay, thank you for that information. Let's take up one question from Yuvraj. He's asking, I have overall six band, but one module is in five and remaining are in six. Can I apply for business course? Yuvraj, yes, you can. We've already discussed that overall six is required. You can have five in one module. So you can send in all your documents at info at landmarkimmigration.com, and we will be more than happy to assist you. Okay,
Perfect.
and let's take up another question. Wipin is asking, I have done BTech in 2012 in IT. After that, I'm working in MNC, that's multinational company, as a software engineer. What options I have for further studies? So basically,
Well,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, well, I think the first option is to think about what your options are. Which field are you interested in furthering your studies in? Do you perhaps want to explore the management side of things? In which case, I would say, well, maybe try your hands at the business management diploma. The other piece to mention at this point is that we do not have a gap year requirement. So
Okay,
if you have a gap year, that's fine.
okay,
You're able to still apply to Keyano College. There is also no age restriction.
okay.
Our admission is available to everybody, regardless of their age. So when you apply to us, again, please connect with Landmark Immigration. But we always ask that you please provide us with all the copies of your transcript because this allows us to process your application in a timely manner. Whether your transcripts include high school, already completed university studies, or postgraduate program, please send it to us as well. It does help us to make sure that we're assessing your application in a really fair and comprehensive manner.
All right. Thank you for that information, Sandra. And I hope, Wipin, we have answered your questions. Send in your documents at info at landmarkimmigration.com, and we can assist you in your application. Asking another question from Sunny. What's the turnaround time to get the offer, Sandra?
That's a very good question. So our turnaround time is between 5 to 10 business days. So I will tell you that with our agents, um, we know landmark immigration very well. So they understand our process and they are able to help you make sure that it's processed quicker. Now, a lot of times it takes longer because students perhaps do not understand the admission requirements or forget to include certain information with your application, which is where using landmark immigration is important because they will make sure that your application is complete. And once we receive a complete application, it takes 5 to 10 business days for you to get an offer.
Yes, and we have seen that we are getting an offer earlier than 5 days as well. But the turnaround time to give a broader picture is 5 to 10 days. But yes, if your application is complete, your documents are complete, the offer letter is coming very quick from Keyano College. Okay, now moving on to a very important point, which I think is a highlight of Keyano College, is the fees. So if you could talk about tuition fees, Sandra.
Absolutely. So when you compare Keyano College to other institutions within Canada, actually, I would argue, our tuition fees are I would say one of the lowest in the country. So I'm going to use a few of our really popular programs to highlight what our tuition and fees are. So for a program like business, for example, um, for one semester, so we have 2 semesters in a year, but for one semester, you're looking at $5,957.08 for your tuition and fees. So for the year, you're just multiplying that by two. So which is approximately 11,900 plus. So we can approximate it and say $12,000. But that's for your entire year, for your tuition and fees. And your fees cover your supplemental health and dental insurance. So in Alberta, every student is eligible for Alberta Health, which means that you get your health card in case you get sick, you know. In case you have a fever or a cough or something, you can see the doctor at no cost. The other piece with the supplemental health card is if you then have any additional medical issues that are not covered by the Alberta Health Card, the supplemental card works to support you. This includes dental as well. So, your teeth, if you have any pains or aches, as an example. We also have a sports and wellness center facility. It's a beautiful, beautiful facility that includes volleyball, basketball, futsal, which is indoor soccer. Um, we have a health and fitness studio in there, and it's free for students because it's included in your tuition and fees as well. So that gives a rough idea of what our fees are, and those fees are the same for other programs. Um, Early learning and childcare is actually cheaper. Early learning and childcare for a semester, the tuition and fees are 5,707.8 cents for one semester. So for a year, you're looking at about 11,000 um 500, 600 thereabout. So it's a bit cheaper than the business admin option.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And although the fees is, I think, the highlight of the college and the program's availability as well for our kind of students. Also talking about the fees, are there any kind of scholarships that Keyano is offering to the students?
Keyano College gives out over $300,000 a year in scholarships. The way our scholarships program work is when you start your program with us in September, every student receives information about the scholarship. We send it to all students, and it's a streamlined process because it's one application form that we use to assess your eligibility for all scholarships so that students are not having to apply and submit 5, 6 different applications.
Okay.
So when you do arrive in September, you'll be receiving that information, and I encourage every student to apply to those scholarship opportunities.
Okay. And does a student has an option of like academic record kind of scholarships? For example, a student having more than 80%, 85%, some kind of instant scholarships before they apply?
Unfortunately, we don't have entrance scholarships for international students. That is something that we're looking into because we do understand that there are some students with very high academic achievements and who have worked really hard to make sure that they have good grades. It's something that we're looking to, but certainly other scholarship opportunities that we have is something that I encourage our students to apply for.
Okay, let's take up a question here. Deep Singh, overall 6, one module 5.5. Yes, this is the major worry of all our students. You can apply Deep in Keyano College with one module as 5.5 and you will get the offer. Please send in your documents at info@landmarkimmigration.com or give us a call at 90413 90412 and we will be more than happy to assist you. Um, Rajat is talking about what all programs are available. Rajat, send in your inquiry to us. We have discussed about the programs. Business programs are available. Human resource. There is array of programs available with Kano College at very good competitive fee structure. So send in your details at info@landmarkimmigration.com, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. So we have another question from Jatin Thakur. He's asking, I have done HM and have 4.5 years of experience. Can I apply for a conditional offer letter?
Absolutely. You can send us your documents. So as I mentioned earlier, we have a human resource management certificate program that is actually designed for folks like yourself. You have experience in the area, you have academic knowledge already in the area. So please do send us your application. As I mentioned as well, the primary requirements for human resource is the English piece. So as long as you have the English and you meet the IELTS score or Duolingo score, you'll be able to receive an offer from us.
Right. So, Jatin, you can send us your documents. Yes, there is 2 year HRM program available with Keyano College. Send in your documents to us, and we'll be more than happy to assist you on info@landmarkimmigration.com. We have a question from Sanjana. Duolingo, yes, is accepted, Sanjana, and the score is also very good at 95. So send in your inquiry to us, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Sandra, now that we have been talking about conditional offer letter, in this situation of coronavirus, there are students who are unable to get their mark sheets
Mm.
or degrees because of everything being shut in India, especially. So, how can a student, for example, who is his just high school pass out and hasn't received any kind of confirmation from, from the institute or from the educational body with regards to the score? So, if that student wants to apply for Keyano, what is the take on that for you, from your side?
So we are issuing conditional offers, and of course, that condition would be for you to provide us with a copy of your transcript when it's available. So
Okay.
we will be able to assess your application with your existing documents. So I encourage you to make sure that you send all of your other academic documents to us, and we'll be able to assess you for admission. The other thing that we're doing too is, given everything going on, I think a few students are worried about what the September semester would look like. When you receive an offer, you have the option to move or defer your admission to a future semester. So either January of 2021 or September of 2021.
Okay. Also, Sandra, there is one question that's coming in my mind is that uh, students are really keen on studying in Ontario, especially in Toronto. How is the expenses of student in McMurray, and how is the life of a student in Keyano College?
That's a very good question. So typically when students think about the cost of going to school, they think about the cost of tuition and fees primarily. And I understand why. I think that's because it's a large percentage of your overall expenses. But I do believe that there are other costs to consider as well. One of the costs is the cost of just living in a particular city. In Alberta, for example, our overall tax is 5%. So whenever you purchase goods and services, you pay 5% on that particular item. In a province like Ontario, well, Jaspreet, do you want to answer that for us? The taxes in Ontario is much
Yeah.
higher, more
Yeah.
than double.
Yes, it's almost like 13%. Yeah.
Exactly. So do the math, 5% versus 13%, and it's on every expense. It adds up. If you do a program that is 1 year long or 2 year in duration, then you're paying a lot more. The other thing too that Fort McMurray offers that I believe no other community, and I will put money on this, no other community offers is job opportunities outside of the campus. I'm an economist by training, so I'm going to use economics analogies here. We've not yet reached market saturation. So a lot of the other cities, by market saturation, I mean the percentage of people looking for work compared to the availability of work. For us in Fort McMurray, there's still a gap there. There's still opportunities there for students. I'll give you an example. I had a student who arrived from India actually to join us in January. And within a month, he had secured interviews. And I served as his reference for those particular job interviews. And this is something that we do support because we understand that as a new student to Canada, you don't necessarily have those experiences or connections within the country to give you a reference. So in Canada, when you apply for a job, whether it's a part-time job or a full-time job, typically the organizations will ask for a reference, which means they want somebody to attest to your abilities. And because of the relationship we've built already with most of our students, we're able to provide them with that reference support. So the International Education Office helps with this. And like I said, the student I talked about, Bilson is his name, has that job and has been working there ever since. Great learning opportunity for him. So that's something that I think we have to offer. Other institutions, I think, may not necessarily be able to just because of the sheer number of students within the institution. We're a much smaller college. We're about 2,500, 2,500 students. So by virtue of our size, we are able to connect easily with all of our students and to assist them wherever possible with any questions or issues that they may have. So, a few things to really consider as you start to make arrangements. We also have housing, on campus housing. We have three options. Our cheapest option is called Rydell, and it's $500 a month.
Okay.
So again, if you do your research, you will know that that is a very good rate for an international student trying to study in Canada and living expenses. So the $500 is for your accommodation, for your internet, water, electricity, all the utilities. It does not include food. However, you do have a kitchen in your unit, so you're able to cook if that's something that you're interested in. So those are a few things for sure.
Okay, perfect. So, on an average, a student if stays on campus or off campus, the expenditure monthly is going to be around 500, if I'm not wrong, to rent a place, and above that would be like how much you spend on your groceries and on your meals, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah. So this is not the price in Toronto or Ontario that you will get for student expenses for the year. Uh, Also, moving on, Sandra, how has coronavirus, one of the most burning questions these days,
Hmm.
how has coronavirus impacted the city of McMurray and Alberta altogether, and how has it affected the functioning of Keyano College?
That's a really good question. So with Fort McMurray, I'll discuss Fort McMurray first and then move out to the broader province of Alberta. In Fort McMurray, we've had very low number of cases. I think we had a total of 4 or 5 cases within the community, and they've all been resolved. Everybody is well and has fully recovered. For the institution, Keyano College, we were able to transition all of our programs online. So the winter semester, every student finished it online. The spring semester was completed online as well. Um, for September, we're starting off with online as well. And as the months progress, we anticipate that we will likely start to reopen for face to face delivery. But students are more than, um, we invite students to join us online for the first semester of their studies. There are students that are considering arriving to Fort McMurray to take part in the online piece. You're also more than um, welcome to continue with your programs from India, for example, while we wait to resolve the whole issue with coronavirus. For the province of Alberta, we've managed very well. Um, we have right now no new cases or no new deaths as a result of coronavirus. As a matter of fact, we've actually reopened most businesses and operations. So we have a phased approach, and we've done phase one, phase two, and are slowly reopening all businesses. So, yes, the answer is yes. As a province, as a city, as an institution, we're faring well with the coronavirus situation.
Sounds good. Yes, we have seen that Alberta was has actually come out of the situation really well, and is, I think, the best one of the best provinces to deal with coronavirus right now. Okay, Sandra, we have actually as students have similar questions. Simran is asking 5.5 in two modules, overall 6 after 12. Simran, yes, Keyano College is having that kind of comfort for students with 5.5 in two modules. And you can send in your application and documents on info, that's info at landmarkimmigration.com, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Okay, Sandra, we have discussed most of the, the criterias. If you could broadly talk about employment opportunities, you've touched upon that topic, but if you could broadly, little bit details about how Keyano College helps in employment
Mhm.
opportunities and what are the best employment opportunities with various programs that Keyano offers.
Right. So I think the primary way that we do help is by helping students with their CV, their resume. So one of the things that you will be asked for as an international student is a resume that highlights your education and your work experience. So we have a career center that will work with you to make sure that your resume is up to date and reflective of the experience that you've already achieved over the last few years. So it's a really useful service and support because that's how you get called potentially for an interview. The other thing that we're able to do is we're able to make sure that you have information around how to successfully complete a job interview. Again, it's very important because once you get called, you want to make sure that you're maximizing on that opportunity. The other piece too is we do work with our faculty and staff to help make sure that they're supporting students in getting connections to potential organizations within the community. So all of our faculty and staff are well connected within the community, have knowledge of the different businesses, and sometimes are able to offer suggestions on how you can better structure your resume, prepare for the interview, and so on. Um, their jobs, there are all kinds of opportunities within the community. We have a ton of grocery stores, for example, and they're always looking for part-time workers. And that option is good for students because the work is flexible in terms of the schedule. Because ultimately, your priority is to study, and IRCC will make sure that that's your priority. So in making sure that you're studying, that flexibility is also important as you complete your studies and work part time. There are other opportunities too that range with working for private businesses, government offices. The student that I talked about that arrived in January is working with a government service company that help with issuing driver's license records and all of that. So there are all kinds of opportunities within the community, and we're able to support students in that capacity.
So there's no dearth of employment opportunities after you graduate from Keyano College. We have a question from Neha. Neha is asking about location. Neha, Keyano College is located in the province of Elbeta, and the city name is McMurray. It is 4 hours. It's a 2 hour flight, 1.5 hour flight from Edmonton, and 2 to 3 hour flight from the city of Calgary. Am I right, Sandra?
Actually, it's a lot less. It's about an hour and a half flight from Calgary,
Okay.
and about an hour 10 minutes from Edmonton.
Around,
Y-
I think it's around 700 kilometers from Calgary, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yes, about 700 kilometers and about 480 kilometers
Right.
from Edmonton.
Neha, if you have any other questions or if you want to apply for Keyano College, please send in your application and documents on info, which is info at landmarkimmigration.com, or give us a call on 90413 90412, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. I have a question here from Whippin again. He's asking about what about PSW after 1 year diploma, or do we need 2 year degree program for PSW? I think you're referring to postgraduate work permit, is what I can understand from PSW. Vipin, if you could clarify that, if you mean PSPGWP the postgraduate work permit, you can apply for postgraduate work permit after 1 year PG diploma, and you will get 1 year of work permit. And if you do a 2 year degree program, you will be getting 3 years of PGWP. Please clarify if that is not your question. We have another question from Arvind Shukla, and he's asking practical nursing September 2020. I have IELTS score of 8 overall, no less than 7. I have just completed IB diploma with predicted score of 30.
That's a good question because nursing is one of our popular programs. So, of course, because it's a popular program, our seats get taken quickly.
Mhm.
So, admissions for each year opens up October of the year prior.
Okay.
So, for September 2020, our admissions opened October 1st, 2019, which means that since October 1st, students have been applying for the nursing program. And we typically offer seats based on eligibility, but also based on time of application. So, unfortunately, we no longer have available seats for September 2020 for nursing. We do accept applications once every year. So, for 2021 September, applications will open October 1st of this year.
Okay.
So I encourage you to submit your application early. And of course, your IELTS scores are high and they meet our admission requirements. So please, yes, go ahead and apply in October for September of next year.
So, Arvind, as Sandra said, you have an excellent IELTS score, and because nursing is one of the most favorable programs of Keyano College, you need to send in your documents before October, before basically the intake opens for applications. So, the now you cannot apply for September 2020, but yes, for next fall you can apply, and you need to send in your documents ASAP because the seats get in fill very quickly for this program. So send in your documents at info at landmarkimmigration.com, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Uh, Arun Wadhwa, you are asking about UK, so we can take up that question on another platform for you. Or Arun, we request you to send in your documents at info at landmarkimmigration.com, and one of our team members will get connected to you for the same. Okay, Sandra, I think we have covered most of the session with regards to the knowledge on Keyano College. So just wanted to take a few last words from you before we let you go. If you could address our students with regards to Keyano.
Sure. I will say that, like I mentioned at the beginning, we're very diverse. So I myself, I'm actually I came prior to starting with the International Office and the Student Services Department. I taught in the business program. I was a member of faculty there for 4.5 years. So I bring this up because I know from my teaching experience at Keyano that you will be in good hands. It's important that coming to an institution and paying, of course, money to get education, that you're receiving quality education. And I can guarantee you that you will. We also have very diverse faculty and staff. So, in the business department, for example, that I mentioned, I have colleagues from all over the world, from Bangladesh, from South Africa, from Jamaica, from Bosnia, from Canada. So it's a very diverse, and you're going to feel really welcomed because the discussions in the classroom will not just be focused on Canada. It will include Canada, absolutely. But there's the opportunity for you to share your experiences from all over the world. So Keyano College is a good option for a student that wants to interact with people from all over the world, um, build their skills, and of course be able to potentially stay in Canada after their studies if that is something that they're interested in. We have a very active student life office as well, and an international education office. And we support you from the time of application. So once you apply, we're sending you lots of information that will help you. Prior to coronavirus, we would support with airport pickup. So picking you up from the airport, making sure that you're getting to your residence safely, showing you around, making sure that you're adapting well to life in Canada and in Fort McMurray. So I do hope that I get to see you in the coming semesters.
Thank you so much, Sandra. And for all the students who are looking forward to quality education, n number of employment opportunities, and cost effective studies, please send in your queries and documents on info, that's info at landmarkimmigration.com, or give us a call on 90413 90412, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Sandra, thank you so much for being with us today, and looking forward to September intake now. Before I let you go, the seats are open for September and fall intake and winter intake, right?
That is correct. So for our business program, we still have seats available, definitely. Um, for some of the other programs, as I mentioned, our seats are taken up. So nursing, as an example, social work, those seats have been taken up. But some of our other programs, absolutely, we still have some seats available.
All right. So send in your queries for Keyano College once again on info, that's info at landmarkimmigration.com, or give us a call on 90413 90412, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. Thank you so much, Sandra. Thanks a lot for this.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Jaspreet, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.